Monday morning. This is the second map discussion for the Western Carolinas. So this is our satellite and surface map that we have. First, probably your attention is uh, pretty much down here in the Gulf of Mexico. This is where Hurricane Milton has formed. And one of the synoptic features that'll help this storm transition into a extratropical cyclone pretty rapidly after landfall is this frontal system that is analyzed across the eastern Gulf of Mexico, across uh, Florida, and a low here of 1,007 millibars. Millibars is just a unit of pressure that is a very common unit, a way of measuring atmospheric pressure. The second thing that you'll probably note is a frontal boundary extending from southeastern Canada through the Appalachian Mountains down into the lower Mississippi Valley and into the Red River region. This front is the one that is going to be responsible for fall-like temperatures. And you'll also notice an outflow boundary was analyzed at this time. This was mainly from the uh, storms that happened last night in eastern or western Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio. So, the main features that will pretty much influence the Carolina weather is this frontal boundary and this high pressure behind it. Here's a quick look at all the advisories that have been posted from the National Weather Service. You can see some tropical um, weather advisories, tropical storm warnings, and hurricane watches issued for inland parts of Florida. You can also see the Gulf of Mexico is under watches and warnings as um, the storm Hurricane Milton gets churned up. You can also see some flood warnings and advisories across the eastern seaboard, mainly in North and South Carolina. But interestingly enough, over here in the upper Midwest, you have some frost advisories that have been posted for parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, as well as a few counties over here in Nebraska. And the desert Southwest is experiencing some excessive heat from the ridge that has been um, building over the last few days. To the forecast for the Carolinas. So this is the high temperatures for Monday, October 7th. Generally in the 80s to mid or low 70s if you're in Boone, 71. Murphy towards 81 degrees. Asheville 77. Charlotte 83. Once you get towards Fayetteville, things start to heat up just a little bit more at 87. Wilmington in the mid 80s, and down towards Hilton Head Island, also in the mid 80s. Now, we have that temperature change coming Tuesday. We talked about this in our last discussion, and still that looks pretty much on target. Tuesday is when fall time arrives for parts of the Western Carolinas. 67 in Boone. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love fall weather, so this is very nice for me. Charlotte has 75 on Tuesday. You're still stuck in the 80s towards the coast. Myrtle Beach is at 80. Wilmington at 81. Parts of like uh, Brunswick 79. But it's coming. You can see on Wednesday, if the map loads properly, that the temperatures, we'll have temperatures getting into, oh, there it goes, to the mid to upper 70s along the coastal region. So give it some time. Usually, this time of year when you have these frontal passages, it takes a day or two to really feel the full effects, especially if that front passes in the daytime, which it is forecast to do later on this morning. But the Piedmont still won't see any fall-like temperatures, at least until Tuesday. On Wednesday, you're still in the 74 Charlotte, 74 Columbia, down towards Augusta. You're down into the upper 70s, as well as the mid to upper 70s in Jacksonville, 75, 76, 77 in Wilmington, and 76 in Myrtle Beach. On Thursday, we still have that cooling trend. 71 in Hickory, 66 in Boone. If you like fall weather, Boone is where you need to go. Now you're in the lower 70s towards the coast, 73 in Wilmington, in Hilton Head Island towards 78. Rocky Mount is in the upper 60s for highs. Raleigh, 67. Fayetteville, 69. Elizabeth City, 69. That is pretty optimal. For Friday, now that cooling trend will start to reverse, unfortunately, although temperatures still in the 70s across the entire region, save for locals in the mountains. 66 in Boone, and then 60, the mid to upper 60s in the Triangle region. On Saturday, we start to warm up a little bit. Now we're up in the upper 70s in Charlotte at 77, Greenville, Spartanburg at 76, Wilmington 77, Fayetteville 77, Raleigh 76, and this warming trend will actually continue into Sunday, October 13th. Hickory at 78, Columbia at 81, Augusta at 82, Greenville, Spartanburg a little cooler at 78. So for minimum temperatures, this morning when you wake up to go to work in Charlotte, you'll be experiencing temperatures in the low 60s, 61 specifically, 59 in Hickory, and towards the coast, you'll also be in the low 60s, 61 in Brunswick, 61 towards Columbia, and 62 in Augusta, Georgia. On Tuesday morning, this is where we start to feel that fall time temperatures. 52 in Hickory, 41 in Boone. Nice, that's crisp. 48 in Asheville. Towards the coast, you're still in the mid 50s to low 60s. 63 degrees towards Wilmington, 64 towards Myrtle Beach, and towards Savannah, Georgia, 63, 67, Hilton Head Island, Charleston in the mid 60s, Columbia 62. Wednesday morning, 47 degrees in Hickory, 42 in Boone. Those are the fall locales, especially in the northern parts of the state. Rocky Mount, Elizabeth City, those will also feel the effects. Charlotte's a heat island, so it's 53, but you have upper 40s surrounding Charlotte. 61 towards Wilmington, 61 also towards Myrtle Beach. Columbia checks in at 57 on Wednesday morning. When we get into Thursday, we're still in the mid 50s for the vast majority of the Carolinas, especially towards the coast. But for the mountain regions, you are in the 40s, and sometimes you'll even find a thermometer that reads in the upper 30s, depending upon if you're on one of those ridge tops or in the valleys. You'll be warmer in the valleys. 53 at Greenville, Spartanburg, 56 in Columbia, and 55 or 54 towards Augusta, 62 down in Savannah. So that's hanging on to that late or early fall temperatures. Now, once you get into Friday morning, October 11th, now the vast majority of the Carolinas, exception towards the coast, are registering temperatures in the upper 40s. 48 in Charlotte, 45 in Hickory, 40 degrees in the mountains. Again, in the mountains, you'll see thermometers read a little bit cooler, but down towards the coast, you're in the upper 50s. On Saturday, much the same, 56 towards Wilmington, 54 Myrtle Beach, and 57 towards Hilton Head Island, 49 in Charlotte, 46 in Hickory, 44 all the way in Murphy, 43 in Boone, and Raleigh is checking in Saturday morning at 47. Sunday, this is when we start to see our warming trend. Now we'll be in the 50s for the vast majority of the Carolinas. As far as precipitation goes, there's really not a whole lot, especially in the western Carolinas. But down towards the coast, with the passage of Hurricane Milton, you might see some precipitation, especially towards Savannah and Charleston, South Carolinas, and Hilton Head Island. That's where you might see a little bit more rain. And this is the Weather Prediction Center graphic. So they are looking at a couple of inches of rain towards that area, but mainly along the North and North Carolina coast, you can expect to see maybe a quarter up to a half inch of rain with the passage of Hurricane Milton. Here's a closer look at some of those precipitation probabilities. This afternoon, we actually have a chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms across the eastern parts of the Carolinas. Not too much of a chance. We're looking at anywhere from 20 to 25% chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms across the coastal areas, Pamlico Sound areas, towards Jacksonville, just north of those areas, pretty much between Jacksonville and Greenville or Rocky Mount, and probably extending towards Columbia, but not expecting too much in the way of precipitation. Once you get into this evening, as that front passes, it's expected to kick off some showers and thunderstorms. Now towards Cape Hatteras, you're looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. This vacates overnight with the frontal passage, and the next shot of rain comes from Hurricane Milton as it makes its way across the Atlantic Ocean, ending at 8 a.m. October 10th. So through the night, Wednesday night, into early parts of Thursday morning, down towards Savannah and Hilton Head Island, you're looking at 40%, 45%, maybe even a 50% chance of seeing some rain with those outer bands of the hurricane passing by. And notice that the winds actually pick up as well. We mentioned in the update video yesterday that winds just off the coast will be 20, 25, 35 knots out of the northeast. And those winds will quickly die off as Milton pretty much accelerates out to sea. And that's pretty much the effects that Milton will have on the coastal areas of the Carolinas. Again, we're not expecting too much in the way of impacts towards the Piedmont in the mountains, and very limited impacts on the coast. Again, if you looked at the previous videos from the weekend, the further south you are along the coast, the more likely it is you'll see the effects, especially precipitation. But the winds will be pretty brisk out of the northeast. But that is all for this map discussion. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope y'all have a good day.